Have you ever wondered if you could actually manifest your dream home down to the last detail? I used to think that was impossible until it happened to me. And what's interesting is that this did not happen by accident, luck, or perfect timing. It happened because I understood something very specific about how results actually form, something that I learned through years of studying this work and later applying it myself as being top 1% of Bob Proctor's consultants. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what I did, the exact steps that I took, and how you can use the same approach to bring your dream home to life. Now, before we start, I want to be very, very clear on something. This is not about hoping, okay? It's not about visualizing once and then waiting for it to manifest. And it's not about ignoring action. Okay, what I'm going to walk you through is how a very deliberate shift in thinking changed my behavior, my standards, my decisions, and ultimately the home that I now live in. And if you stay with me to the end, I'm going to give you a simple action step that you can start today that sets this whole process in motion, and it happens very quickly. Because most people never experience the dream home because they approach it from the outside in, right? They look at the prices. They look at what feels realistic. They look at what other people in their situation have. And then, without even realizing it, they scale their desires down until it feels safe for them. So the decision is already made at that point, not by the market, not by interest rates, but by their own self image. Listen, your home is not just a final outcome, it's a reflection of what feels normal to you, what feels available to you, and what feels like you. This is why people can earn more money and still live in the same type of home in the same area year after year. Their circumstances change, but their identity, their self image doesn't. So for a long time, I thought that the right home would come first, and then I would feel successful, then I would feel settled and grounded. Well, what I learned instead is that it always works in reverse. Your thinking comes first. Wallace D. Wattles described this perfectly when he said that there is a thinking stuff which permeates and penetrates the entire space of the universe. And a thought impressed upon this thinking substance creates the thing that was imaged by the thought. You see, whether you see this as spiritual or psychological, it doesn't really matter. What matters is this: your dominant thoughts set a frequency. That frequency shapes how you feel, and how you feel dictates how you act. That's really important to understand. And how you act determines what you accept and what you reject in your life. So instead of looking for houses, what did I do? I focused on changing the internal picture I carried around every day. Not casually, not vaguely, and not as something that I hope might happen one day. I made it specific and precise. Listen, vague desires create vague results. I knew that if I wanted a different home, I had to become the version of myself for whom that home already felt normal to. So rather than scrolling listings or just viewing any random property, I fixed the image first, the standard first, the identity first. And this wasn't something that I did alone either. You know, me and my girlfriend Georgina, we got very clear about what it was that we wanted, not in terms of prices, not in terms of the postcode, but in terms of how we wanted the space to feel. So we talked about the lighting of the home, the energy, the atmosphere. And we knew that we wanted something modern, but also with a subtle vintage touch as well. A space that felt expansive rather than restrictive. And because that in it and because that in and because that internal picture was so clear, we literally refused to go and view anything that didn't match it. And that alone changed everything. You know, once your internal image is fixed, your behavior will become selective. You stop entertaining options that are not a match. And now, this is where a lot of people misunderstand how this works. Okay. Manifestation does not replace action, it replaces random action. When your thinking changes, your actions naturally become aligned. So what happens? You stop chasing, you stop forcing, you stop settling, and you start acting like someone who already knows what they are available for. So every viewing with me and Georgina became intentional. Every conversation became clearer. Every decision became easier. And that's not because we tried harder, it was because the internal standard had already been set. And I want to pause here for a moment because if this is resonating with you and you're someone who wants more than just a home, if you want your business to grow, if you want your income to expand and the freedom to design your life on your terms, then listen, I'm running a free 5-day masterclass in January called the Magnetic Business Launchpad. It's going to be very powerful. Over these 5 days, I'm going to walk you through the exact steps to reprogram your subconscious mind, change your self image, and upgrade the internal operating system that controls your results so you can grow your business, increase your income, and create real freedom in your life, including the home that you live in, the car that you drive, the holidays that you take, and how you spend your time day to day. Go and register. It's completely free, and you'll find the details in the description below. Now, the part that most people skip, and the reason people never see results, is repetition. Your subconscious mind learns through repetition and emotional impact. One visualization is going to do nothing. One inspired moment does nothing. Consistency is what creates a belief at a subconscious level. This is why elite performers rehearse mentally. This is why identity always precedes outcome. I understood that if I wanted a different result, I needed to repeatedly impress a new image onto my subconscious mind until it felt familiar to it, until it felt like me. So here's the action that I want you to take. Okay, I want you to get a blank piece of paper and don't use your phone, not your notes app. I want you to get a real piece of paper and write out a detailed description of your home in the present tense as if you already live in it, and go into detail. What kind of brick is the house made out of? How big is the garden? How many rooms are in the home? What does the kitchen feel like? What is the area like? What are your neighbors like? What does it feel like when you wake up in this new home? What does it feel like when you walk through the front door? Go into specifics, okay? And then what I want you to do is record yourself reading that description and listen to it 4 times every single day. Not occasionally, not once every 2 days, every day. It's through repetition that you change your internal set point. And that internal set point changes how you feel. And how you feel changes how you act. And those actions both attract and accept opportunities that were always there, but were previously invisible to you. Okay? This is exactly how my home came into life. Not through luck, not through force, but through identity, clarity, and aligned action.